Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I want to give you my honest review of this CFMOTO Cforce 520L. So I own this CFMOTO for 1 year and it's got almost 8,000 kilometers on the clock, and it's a rental. So keep in mind that it's a rental. So it's living in tough conditions. There are a lot of riders. Usually those riders don't really care about the technical parts of the quad, right? They just ride and that's it. So before we begin, I would like to thank all of my subscribers. We're already at 40 subscribers. You guys are keeping me going forward and I really appreciate everyone that's subscribing. Stay tuned for more stuff from me: ATV repairs, rides, dirt bike repairs. So first we're gonna talk about the pros. I would say the best thing about this quad is its engine. It's unbreakable. So 8,000 kilometers on the clock, no problems whatsoever. I change my oils every 1,000 kilometers, right? That's the engine oils. Regarding the differential oils, I change them when needed. If I know that the quad has been in some deep water, then I change it. And yeah, the engine oil once every 1,000 kilometers and that's it. Regarding the differentials, no problems whatsoever. I just do my oil changes, I pour in the premium Bel-Ray oils, I also used Repsol oils, and no problem whatsoever. The CV axles are also good, right? The axles are super top notch, not a problem in any conditions. I just replaced the axle dust covers, right? Those dust rubber covers, and that's it. Alright, so the next thing, front suspension, all of the bushings and the shocks, just perfect. I don't have any issues with them. I own 2 of these Cforce 520 quads, right? And no problem whatsoever. The only thing I did replace are these steering rods. I replaced 2 of them, right? So yeah, and that's in years time. So I think it's pretty okay. So up next, cheap parts. Cheap parts are, in my opinion, super important if you're an ATV owner and you like to ride in heavy conditions, right? Cheap and accessible parts. I haven't had a situation where I couldn't get a part or that the part is some, I don't know, unreasonable money, right? And there are a lot of parts, like for example, let's say brake pads. You can choose a different manufacturer, right? So it's a bit cheaper. And, of course, all of the small parts like bushings, bearings, right? That can also be interchanged. So if we compare these parts from the CFMOTO to, let's say, Can-Am parts, right? They're so much cheaper. I mean, all of the plastics, the let's say some kind of mechanical stuff, right? All of that is cheap, and that's really important in my opinion. The parts have to be reasonably priced, and if you don't want to buy them from the dealer, you can just go to AliExpress. You can just get all of your parts there. Of course, it will take some time, but hey, it's an option. It will be quite more cheaper. Up next, we have the price. The starting price for this model, right, the Cforce 520L, that's the starting price, is 5,990 euros. So that's 6,000 euros. Let's rough it up. 6,000 euros for a 500cc ATV that is street legal. I think it's just cheap. So I did a small comparison, right? The Polaris Sportsman 570 costs 9,990 euros, the entry price, and the Can-Am I found the 650 model, that costs 10,990 euros. That's the Can-Am Outlander. Alright, so I mentioned all of the good stuff, and now let's get to the bad stuff. So the first thing that I want to point out, cheap plastics. The lacquer started peeling off quite fast, I would say in a month's time. My advice, don't get the black plastics, get some kind of a, let's say they have that camouflage option, right? You won't see so much scratches on that. and all of the plastic fasteners here and here, right? If you have a, let's say, small crash, right, and you hit a tree with this bash bar, then all of these plastic pieces, they sort of fall out of place because those plastic teeth, they are quite weak, and yeah, then you have to either fasten it with a screw or get a new plastic piece. So that's really disappointing that the plastics are so weak and the paint could be better. Up next we have the rear suspension. The small bushings, right, they go bad so fast. The rear suspension, it's almost always wobbly. So you have to grease it up quite a lot. Those bushings go bad quite a lot, and yeah, they cost really cheap, but you do have to replace them, and that's time, right? So I think they should fix it in the next models. Maybe redo the rear suspension. So another super bad thing in my opinion is the rear brake cylinder, the right one. Basically, if you make a mistake, right, and you drive with your handbrake, your brake caliper gets super hot, like the brake disc, right? And inside of the brake cylinder, like there's a piston, right? That piston has O-rings and rubber seals. Those get destroyed from the heat, and you have brake fluid flowing from your ATV, and you lose all of your brakes, right? And bleeding the brakes on these ATVs, the Cforce 520L models, it's such a mess. It takes such a long time due to the brake distributor. You have a distributor which distributes the front and rear braking power. So yeah, that's definitely a bad thing, and they should definitely fix it. For example, on this rental I have the parking brake. I just zip tied it so people don't use it, because I don't want to bleed the brakes every time. It's just such a pain in the ass, to be honest. Okay, up next we have the switches, the turn signals, the start switch, the differential switch, right? These are so bad. They are made cheaply, right? And they break quite a lot. Your turn signal doesn't work, your differential switch, the plastic ears inside are broken, and you can't switch from two-wheel drive to four-wheel drive. You can't push the differential lock button. So those are super bad in my opinion. They're super cheaply made, right? And the new parts, let's say the differential switch, it costs around 100 euros, so that's quite a lot, I would say. And you can't just switch, let's say, the front part of it. You have to buy the whole assembly. So that's a minus again. Okay, so up next we have the overheating problem. Basically these ATVs, in a year's time I've noticed that they tend to overheat, and I've also talked to other owners of these models, right? They do tend to overheat. I don't know the reason. I've heard it's got something to do with the exhaust, right? That you have to cut out part of the exhaust so it can get those exhaust fumes out of the engine better, right? Also the radiator clogs up from all of that dirt, but I think they would need to address this issue in the future, because overheating is definitely not good. So we've covered the pros, we've covered the cons. So now I'm gonna give my honest rating on a scale of 1 to 10, right? So I think these quads are a solid 7. They're quite much more cheaper than the competitor ATVs, right? But they do lack some quality things, like I mentioned, right? So if CFMOTO fixes these things in the next generation, I think they really have a chance to push out their competitors. So for the moment, these are pretty solid ATVs for the price, but they can do better. So guys, thank you so much for listening to me, for watching my channel, for watching all of these videos. I enjoy making this content so much. I'm all about that ATV off-road dirt bike life, right? So if you also love all of these things, So you're an enthusiast, right, like me. Just give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to me. I would appreciate it really much. Okay guys, see you in the next video. Bye.